Hello, and welcome to our weekly series with Midjourney. This is a weekly series to practice different prompts with the tool. You're probably a beginner, you're already diving into your own creations, but this is just to keep up with the pace, explore the different parameters and functions that you can use throughout these prompts. We're going to try and be very, very creative. So I incentivize you to download the prompt builder deck if you haven't done so. That's available on the site. And there's also a beginner's course if you really want to start from scratch, how to set up the tool and the subscription plans and so forth. But for this week, this is our first week challenge. What we're going to do is create a futuristic cityscape inspired by neon lights, glowing streams, bioluminescent plants. So there's quite a few quirks in it. And this shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. The whole part of it is that you play with the tool, that you see how you can apply knowledge with descriptors and things like that. So let's dive into it and get started. It's best to start prompts fairly general because you don't know which direction this may go. So I'll type / imagine futuristic cityscape, and when I click enter, we'll see what we get. And then if there's a specific direction, then I can add more detail and finesse, if you will. So this is very much an iterative approach to building a prompt, because it's best if you let Midjourney come up with different solutions, and then you can kind of decide, okay, I like this particular solution, let's go a bit further, let's tweak it, and so forth. So, okay, so now it's spitting out these 4 versions. You can see that these three look more like an illustration. This definitely looks more futuristic. I'm going to regenerate. I'm not sure yet I like any of them, so I'm gonna repeat 2 generations just so I don't have to do it each time and I get plenty of choice. So let's wait until these 2 generations are complete. Okay, so now we have 2 more generations. We have kind of like a perspective bird eye view on these. That's interesting. And then we have another go at more kind of 3D-ish. Then this is more pop art style, cyberpunk a little bit. What can we do? What can we choose? I think it's still not entirely what I want, but maybe with the tweaking it can help. So I'm gonna regenerate again. Maybe we're being too generic and we need a little bit more detail. So this would be a 3D render, ultra realistic, of a futuristic cityscape, HD. It will have cyberpunk colors, vivid neon lights at night time. And now that we're giving a lot more detail, we should be getting something more interesting. I thought that Midjourney would kind of come up with a direction by being generic, but I wasn't happy after 3 generations, and if we keep going, you might waste your credits that way. So if you have something already in mind, you might as well write it down. So let's see what it generates now. Okay, so it's definitely created the cyberpunk vivid neon style, but it's not very futuristic anymore. And then it kind of embeds a human that I don't want there to be any humans. So let me do this again, and I'm going to double the weight on futuristic cityscape. So I do that by doing : 2, and I'm trying, actually I'll do it beside futuristic. So we really get a sense of, you know, it being kind of the architecture. And maybe I can mention the architecture, like futuristic architecture, round architecture style. And see what we get. But I definitely don't think these represent the future. This might be a city that we're already familiar with today. Doesn't really feel any futuristic, and just the shots are not that great. You know, it could be a little bit better. So we just need to get a sense of the style first, and then we can play maybe with the camera angle and the composition later. Okay, so this is more the circular architecture, which is interesting, and it's at like basically at dusk, right before nighttime. The neon lights are gone, the cyberpunk effect is gone, but it definitely said, you know, futuristic has doubled down. So I'm going to create another iteration. Let's see, 3D render, ultra realistic, futuristic, cityscape, So cyberpunk colors, I think I can multi-prompt that and give it more weight. So colon 2. And I will say also glowing water streams. This part just for the, you know, the city to have these water streams going around. I think that would be really nice. It might create something completely different from what we've done so far, but I think that's the magic of Midjourney. You kind of just want to go in and experiment each time, see what you get. So that's the whole point of these exercises, is to experiment. Okay, so this is what I'm getting now, and it's quite different from what I was expecting. But I think this one, the number 3 approach, works well. I'm going to merge it with one of the photos here. I think I really like this futuristic type, so I'm going to upscale it. It's upscaled. I'm going to upscale the third one. So I kind of want a merger between this image and this image. I think that would be very nice. So what we're gonna do is copy. We're gonna regenerate the same prompt, but then let's copy link, then /imagine. We paste that link. Let's copy the second link and paste it. And now let's go and copy our prompt. Futuristic with ultra realistic, everything that we had written before, and we're writing it down. Now I'm gonna hit enter. Again, I have no idea what's gonna happen. I think that's the magic. You might like what I do or not, but that's the whole point of these exercises, is to keep experimenting until you find something that you really, really enjoy. So I'm thinking, my hypothesis is that if I merge this image with this image, I'm gonna create something kind of in between, which is kind of what I'm aiming for. Let's see what we get. Yeah, I love this first image it generated. It's quite nice, and the lighting is starting to really play a role. So you know, I could go in further, adding elements and lighting, but this is already looking really nice. This looks more like the present, and this looks more futuristic for sure. So I'm going to upscale number 1. And it's a kind of in a low resolution, so I upscale subtle, so it will create like a nicer resolution. The one thing I want to try, so I'm going to upscale it, but I also want to vary it subtle. I want to say high contrast, because I think the colors need to be a little bit more highlighted. So I'm doing a multi-prompt with weight 2 after high contrast, and I'm going to submit. I just want to compare both images because it might be quite subtle, the difference, but it's a good thing to have both options. So we're gonna see what the difference is. There might be no difference, but there you go, we've learned something. So here's the upscaled image in high res, and then here's the high contrast. I actually think the high contrast is better. You can see that the colors are darker and lighter. This is all kind of blended together, so it looks a little bit flat, but once you see this actually, I'm gonna upscale number 2. Yeah, there's definitely more definition, between the front plane and the background. So I think I'm gonna go with the high contrast approach and upscale that one instead. So this is really us for this exercise about a futuristic cityscape. If you can share your own prompt, try something different. It doesn't have to be this prompt specifically, but just give it a go. Try different cities, different scenarios, and don't forget to tag at Type Dreams Images in Instagram, because we want to keep an eye on what you're doing, how you're finding the tool. Are you struggling with it, or completely inspired? I think it's a combination of both. But anyway, this is it for now, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.